start off, what are like the general things a TO needs? Like, obviously they need a laptop, you know, for TO. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which you invented, I think.
Yeah. Besides knowledge and equipment, you need force of will, I guess. You need to be powerful of a presence enough that people will listen to you when you want them to do stuff. You have to know what you're doing and have the respect that you know how to run a big tournament, which comes with experience and with talking to people, I guess. You have to do your homework, be prepared, show that you're capable of running a good tournament, have the staff that you need in order to help you run things. If you're running a small tournament, then you can do it all yourself, but if you have more than 50 people, you're going to need other people there to help you keep things running. It's impossible for one person to keep a tournament of any size running on time. It's just too much work. So you need people who can help you make sure people are playing their matches, kicking them off of friendlies, make sure people get there on time. Let's face it, smashers are a little lazy and not very reliable because they're teenagers and early 20s, and that's just not a reliable age. So, yeah, I guess you do as much as you can force them to do. Speak loudly, speak clearly, be a presence that they're going to listen to and respond to. Otherwise, they'll just ignore you. Yeah. Anything else?
Okay, so was there a time where you were actually like active as a player, not just like a TO?
Sure. My first tournament was right after TG6, which was way back in the day.
Old man, dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of old. I went to a lot of tournaments, got like third place at a couple of locals. That was the best I ever did. But yeah, I fell in with Ken, Sephiroth Ken and his family, and I helped them run their local weekly tournaments, and from there that's what I was more interested in.
Oh, speaking of Ken, I just read about the thread recently. I knew about the controversy recently, but how about, were you one of the TOs at OC3?
No, actually I wasn't. I was at OC2, but not OC3.
Was OC2 as like infamous?
Shady?
Yeah, shady.
No, OC2 was a much nicer venue. It was in Fountain Valley at Mile Square Park, which is like really legit. I don't know, what did you hear about OC3?
Well, they scammed a lot of money. There was the whole DVD, like $50 for the DVD sets. Yeah. A bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Cramped venue. Although the matches are nice, I hear.
Yeah, it was not the greatest tournament. And just at that time, you were able to get away with more stuff, I think, on reputation instead of actually providing details and the goods. The DVD obviously is a little exorbitantly priced.
Right.
But no, I did OC2, but I couldn't do OC3 because of work issues.
So I don't know if you're like active on, well, you're not active on the board, but maybe you lurk. If you read about how TOs like work nowadays, like there's a thing on ROM 3 how everyone loved it because it was a hype tournament and all that, but the actual like TOing wasn't that great, and like it like ended at midnight second day. So like, what are your opinions on that? Like, does the hype really make up for like a badly run tournament? Not badly run. Like ROM 3, I hear was amazing. No disrespect to anyone.
Well, yeah, that's the catch, is that you can have your shit down and run an amazing tournament, and it's still not as going to be as remembered as a tournament where some amazing matches happened. You know, Hugs always talks about Super Champ Combo versus Pound 3. Pound 3 everyone remembers because Mango won it, and it was such a huge deal. Super Champ Combo was about the same time, and not as big of as a surprise. Mewtwo King won it, PC Chris got second. It was kind of like, okay, that's what we expected to happen. Does that make up, or is that an excuse for having a poorly run tournament? No. It's the TO's job to run the tournament. He has no control over what the matches actually turn out to be. So you can never plan to have hype matches to pick up your slack. So to use that as an excuse or anything is really lame. But yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah, why do you run tournaments? Let's just ask that generic question. Yeah, it's pretty important.
It started off as a way to stay more in touch with a community that I was not as interested in playing anymore. You know, Smash is a lot of fun, but I was never good at it enough to really do well at tournaments. But I still like the people and still like the tournament scene for sure. I like esports a lot. You know, I watch a lot of other games, streams, Street Fighter, StarCraft 2, lots of stuff that I'm interested in. And so running tournaments was a way to stay connected and grow the community. Because of course, without tournaments, nothing really happens. It's just a bunch of guys sitting in their basement saying that they're the best, which is how we did it back in the day. But since then, I've sort of grown apart from that, just real life issues. I help out with Champs tournaments, and he's still really into it. This is his tournament, really. I just helped, and so I keep it with my friends that way. But otherwise, I've sort of fallen out of it.
Okay. How much do you know about the current TOs like Plank and Allisbrawl? How much do you know about them?
I don't know much about
how they host.
Plank. I know Alex puts a ton of time into his tournaments, and I have a lot of respect for the amount of effort he puts into it. I know he has personal issues or something. I'm not going to talk about that, but I know he's a hell of a TO, and he really knows his shit. And we talk on AIM a lot, and he's always pushing me to make improvements to TO the software, and always asking ideas and shooting stuff around. So a lot of respect for him. Don't know much about Plank. Obviously, Pound is always a huge tournament, and always hear a lot of good things about that. I met him once, but don't know much else.
Okay. And who, in your opinion, is who are some of the best TOs? Just to throw names out there. It doesn't have to be Melee. Brawl 2, Alpha Zealot. I hear he's pretty good. Of course, there's SoCal. You know, Pat.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Pat.
Yeah. Pat Asian Lep, San Diego, I think does an amazing job and has run several Winter Game Fest tournaments that have been fantastic. Alex, like I was saying, really takes his job very, very seriously and does everything he can to make his tournaments the best. Gameplex guy up in Washington, small community, doesn't get a whole lot of hype, but he's a professional, and everything he does is to make the scene bigger and better. In fact, tourney plays in a week, I want to say, in Portland. Everyone who goes gets tickets to a Trailblazers game. You should go. You should go. Yeah. So those guys are the who I hear the most about, and that I talk to the most with.
What's your opinion on Blank? I always hear him on the board saying, "No, I'm the best TO. My tournaments are amazing," and they're pretty good. But what's your opinion on him?
I don't have anything bad or good to say really. I know Pound is always great, and the only thing I know about Plank is that when he came to Super Champ Combo, he ran a bunch of money matches and proudly proclaimed that no Falcon would ever beat him, but then Romeo from SoCal beat him in a money match, and that's all I remember.
When Romeo made Falcon? Oh wait,
yeah.
Did you say Falco or Falcon?
Falcon.
Oh, okay.
So as Sheik, no Falcon could beat Plank, but that was wrong.
So what are some of the little things you do?
Little things.
Little things, like having a monitor with the matches displayed.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a computer geek, so I know all the tricks with video splitting and extra monitors, and of course I wrote TO, so I know all the tricks there. I think little things like bringing candy and snacks to make the place more fun. We always bring licorice. It's not like, okay, so you spend $5 and everyone has a little bit better of a time, and it's definitely worth it. It's always cool to have people in the corner playing music or something to pump up the atmosphere. I think having a good atmosphere is really important. Shitty tournaments are when you're sort of cramped in a room and it's hot and sweaty and that one guy didn't wear deodorant. But if you can do a little bit for the culture and for the atmosphere. He was here today? Yeah, I think a couple were.
It was so hot in that room.
That's a little thing that can definitely step up the tournament. Yeah. Against the wall where the sun was coming in, it was really hot.
Yeah. The Europeans are running 5 different tournaments in one room.
A little overboard.
Yeah.
I mean, only Brawl and Melee had any significant. Oh no, Street Fighter had 34 people or something.
How many did Melee have?
36.
Ninth place, niggas.
Yeah, that was. I think next time we won't run as many games.
Yeah.
But,
how many entrants did Tekken have?
How do you deal with tournaments that are short-handed?
Yeah.
Tekken, I don't think they actually ran. I think 3 or 4 people might have come, but none of them were really interested in entering.
Good question, Ryan. How do you deal with tournaments with
Yeah.
We leave it up to them usually if they want to really do it or not. Some of them just say no, I want to go home. But I mean that's a reflection of their scene, I guess. Is not as big, so not as many people are going to come out to this. Champ did a lot of advertising, I know, on SRK for all the games to try to get them out. And Street Fighter came out in pretty good numbers.
Did he advertise on Tekken Zaibatsu?
It was on Tekken Zaibatsu.
It was?
I expected Paris and all those people to come because they're talking about the LP tournament.
Yeah, it's always hard getting a different community to come to your tournaments.
Yeah.
You're just not known, and they don't know what to expect from your quality of tournament. But hopefully, at least the presence on SRK will start getting more attention, and then from there, jumping into other fighting communities.
Have you ever ran a major tournament for like another game that isn't Smash?
No.
Or been to one that's...
Other than MLG events.
How does MLG run their tournaments? Like, how do they finish it so fast? I mean, they're
massive
professional.
equipment support.
Massive equipment. Okay.
And many days. Halo actually. I don't know if they still do this, but Halo they used to allow like 1,000 people to enter and run it over 4 solid days.
For sure they don't do that anymore.
Yeah. That was like for free-for-alls or something. Or there's Evo had 1,500 people for Street Fighter 4 over 3 days, and that's tons of official sponsored equipment support.
Yeah.
So for Evo, they have Sony bringing the PlayStations and Capcom supplying the games.
It's not really something Smash can do, like getting all that equipment, all that money.
Yeah. Too much money.
Unless you got like OC3 prices going on.
Yeah. I mean, or people have been having success getting out there and talking to sponsors. GC guy in Seattle or Eastern
got, like,
Washington.
Gamer Grub,
Yeah.
all that.
There's lots of people, and every little bit helps. If you can talk to some company and they'll donate a couple of used games to raffle off, that's something that'll help. You might not be getting tons of TVs and Wiis from people, but every bit will help the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question I want to. When do you run pools? How many entrants do you look for before you want to run pools?
I base it more on money. I would never run a pools for a $5 tournament. It's just not worth your entry. I mean, you're not paying enough to get that luxury, but for 10 or more, sure. I mean, at some point, it definitely adds to the time, and so if you don't have enough TVs, it's just not going to be worth it. But it depends on the equipment and the amount of money they're paying. I mean, obviously, it sucks to pay $20 to enter a tournament and go 0-2 for half the community that attends. So I look at it more of a money issue.
I see. Like, for my tournaments, even though they're $5, I like to run pools because it gets the bad people to come back.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know, I like that.
Yeah, it's great for growing the community for sure because you get more matches and then it's more casual and you're sitting around talking to people more between matches and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with brackets, it's just sort of like your name's been called, go play, you're done.